145, and let's continue where we left off in the House of Fata Morgana. And oh boy, has the last tale gone into some very dark places, very dark, darker than the rest, yes, but this is very dark. It looks like Giselle has finally been confronted by Linda, and we went to Michael's room, we didn't like it, and apparently he found out why we were sent into the mansion to begin with the first place. But it's all for the wrong reasons. So, but anyway, the lady that mentioned Linda, you're Giselle, aren't you? One day, the mistress of the estate stopped in the hall. She had supposedly been quite beautiful. Now she was only haggard and bony. Her skin dry, her eyes sunken, her hair faded and stripped of this luster. Her hair down, her cracked lips barely moving as she spoke. Age didn't appear to be the only thing that working in merciless magic on her either. There seemed to be something eating away from inside too. Something that couldn't burst at the lightest touch. Yes, I am Giselle. If there's nothing I can do for you. The mistress rarely ever left her chambers. I've been told it had been years since she attended family supper. So what bring her to come looking for someone like me? And you, what? I wasn't sure I wanted to know the answer. You're having relationships with my husband, aren't you? You are, aren't you? Madam? You wretched creature. So, she was telling me the truth. One of my trusting maids caught a glimpse at you through a crack in the door. She saw you with him. You filthy rat. You seduced my husband. Well, you devil. You conceiving wench. You don't get it, do you? You don't realize how grievous your sin is, do you? Someone, anyone, restrain this girl. She's a demon, a devil. Tie her up and hand her over to the clergy. No, that won't be enough. A witch. You have to burn her bones, scatter the ashes, or she'll just come back to life. Yes, execute her. Kill this woman, burn the witch, seize the piece she's stolen from me. Well, lady, if you listen to Giselle, you'll know that she actually didn't seduce your husband. Your husband seduced her in a very grotesque way. In fact, curse. It's cursed. This house is cursed. Not only has it taken away my daughter, now it's trying to take away my husband. Oh God, please shine this cleansing light upon this house. I knew it wouldn't be safe for a breath trying to talk to her. She was not sound of mind. She was mad in her eyes. I don't have to make a fuss about it. It all happened on its own. If there was no way around it, then I should have just done it myself after the first attempt. I didn't have the energy to argue with her, or to cry, or to shout. Before long, a crowd began to form around me, and the sobbing mistress, and in it stood him. I assumed he'd just stand back and watch, but to my surprise, he stepped in with an embarrassed look on his face to try to settle his wife down and convince her not to have me executed. Maybe he did, after all, have a heart, or maybe he just wanted to save his face. Regardless, instead of being burned at the stake, it was decided to be sent away to some remote forest. One of the previous bungalow family heads had purchased a mansion. The Bollinger family stood there a long time, but it had been abandoned because of the stories people told about it. They said a curse which dwelled in the house. She had returned to life after being executed, and now sculled about in darkness. It was a perfect place to banish a sinner. And so, accused of adultery, I was carried on my way out of the capital the next day. So that's why she's in the house. Which is my purpose of, I hope my mother's sister are right. The two of them will believe in me. If no one else does, the one on wheels turn and carry me away to that cursed mansion. Just a silent coachman and a single saluted passenger. Looking out through a window, could see a city wall slowly fading in the distance behind us. I thought I would ever set foot on this land again, ever cross the great pond again. It was sad in reality, but at the same time, I felt such a surge of release. I had finally escaped from that house. I finally escaped from that man. The sense of freedom slightly lessened the weight of everything else I was feeling. Hell boy, and we all know what happened now. A good while till I left the cab, the coachman handed me a letter. On a sheet of parchment was a rather startling revelation. There was someone else already living in the house where I was to reside. The Bollinger's youngest child. But the letter did not say why he had been sent to the girl's mansion or that he was there. Beyond that, the letter only made a single request. That I look after him and not ask any questions. So, just being sent off the middle of nowhere. It's all I have to work. Wait, let's try it again. I still have work to do. If I look after who's ever at the mansion, then I'll do the same for my family. As I don't have much to say the matter, I suppose. The carriage rattled and shook as traversed stormy path and bounced around the side. I resolved to take back my life, the peace I once known, the cheerfulness I had lost. And to do so I would forget, lock away my memories. Whatever terrible thing that happened to me, cast aside those memories. If it filled my smile once more. I have no idea who I am going to find here, but they couldn't possibly do anything worse to me. I'll greet them with a smile. I'll do my best to build a decent relationship with them. Oh boy, did that ever backfired in this game. And so, I forget it all. I get my life back. Get my smile back. Oh, sweetie, did you piss off Michael? And that was everything that led up to me arriving at that mansion. All the wounds I never wanted to open again. I didn't want to think about that. I was trying so hard to forget about it. I wanted to forget all about it. So why? Why did you have to make me remember? All I did was believe that we could make things work. Why? How could you? God, I can't take it anymore. Screaming. Once the memories have finally broken free, they all floated back with perfect clarity. Exactly how he ran his hand across me. Exactly where he hit me. Where he cut me. Like it was going through again at this very moment. The rain was cooling down on the outside. So much nausea and heat had built up in my gut. I vomited. I threw up, until there was nothing left in my body inside. And when I had nothing left to expel, the strength evacuated from my knees and I collapsed. I didn't know if everything was blurred because of the rain, or because my eyes decided that they were done looking at anything. The whole world twisted before me. Michael's is no different. My attempt to get close to him, to always keep a smile, it was all just a waste. The look in his eyes was terrifying, like he didn't believe in anything at all. So you probably would have happened if I had told him the truth. If he convinced I had an ulterior motive, there's probably no changing his mind. Such a cold rain. If I lie down here and go to sleep, I wonder if all the warmth will eventually drain from my body. Now decompose and be part of the earth. You know, that might actually be nice. I like that. I always thought I didn't want to die. That I want to go back to the way things were. But who cares anymore? I did my best after all. And that still got me nowhere. Cheerful Giselle was all just a farce. And when I'm dead, all my worry for my mom and my sister will fade away with me. Oh God. I doubt you have a place. Oh God. I doubt you have a place for me on high. After all. I am, after all, an unclean woman. And I've given up on living it together. But even if I can't even get to heaven, that's okay. I want to release. The rain pitter-pattered down through the leaves overhead, chilling my skin. The cold spread through my flesh and into my bones, my heart and lungs summer friends me like a block of ice. My constantly drifted away from me. The world slipped through my fingers. More than fear, I felt relief. Fade black. Utter black. And that, I was sure, was the end for me. Let me guess, Michael's gonna show up, or someone's gonna show up. Most likely it's gonna be Michael. I'm waiting for that jump scare to come up. Or is that the end? And that, I was for sure. I was sure was the end of me. I am even now putting her through a horrid experience. Dig up the memories she locked away, the past she wanted to pretend never happened, and laying it all up before her once more. But I must get her back to who she once was, even if it means forcing her to endure this. She must remember everything, because I need to know. Why did she become the maid? What secrets does this house hold? You're Michael. Yes, my name is Michael. I am not the white-haired girl. The person you were searching for was the man who once hurt you deeply. Me. So Michael is the white-haired girl. Wait, hold on. Yes, my name is Michael. I am not the white-haired girl. Okay, that's a good thing. Why? What was her why referring to? Why I hurt her? Or why I'm here? Or perhaps why I didn't show up until now? Not having any answers for her, I clench her cold hand into my... I wonder, why were her hands this cold at night too? There's still more we need to see through. And it's still soon for me enough to apologize. When she's gotten everything back, only then can I, once she reclaimed herself. This is what I must tell her. Now, let us return to our past, sweetie. Our story only just begun, after all. No matter what we thought or what we desired, no matter how much we lost, how much pain we suffer, we must not shut this door. Exactly. Perfect darkness embraces us once more. I can see nothing, not even the woman beside me, but I shall not let go of her hands. I don't want her to slip away from me. I do not want to lose her. And here we go. And there's the white. Okay, fade to black, fade to white. Here we go. What? Stay with me. Hey, stay with me. Are you alright? Ooh. Oh, thank goodness. You're awake. How's your head? Can you see me? What? You had scared me, silly there. You had me scared, silly there. I thought I might lost you for good. I'm really glad that you're alive. Where am I? And who is this man? What was I doing? You healing up for any food? I can write some poetry for you right quickly. What's in the... I was in the forest. It was rain. Before that, I was at the mansion. I feel sick, like there's something in my stomach. No, thank you. I don't want anything. You really should have something. You need to keep up your energy. Unless you want to conk out in an hour again. Sounds good to me. I'd rather not wake up at all. You're not the highest spirits either, it seems. All the more reason to get something warm in you. Please, have something. I got some milk on the fire. I bet you can handle a cup of that. It's time to lose all hope once the cold gets that deep in you. Reaches down to your core. Take my word, please. Just one sip. You feel like a whole new gal. Okay. A heart-wrenching, pleasant aroma, wrapped up with the steam from within the wooden cup. Stumbling to the sweet smell, I lifted the cup to my lips just one sip. The warmth that spread through me brought tears to my eyes. Perhaps there really was a kindness in this world. Ripples spread across the surface of the milk. I heard a gentle sigh came from the man's beside, at which he said with a smile, "You should take it easy for the day. Please." Dun dun. I had lost the willpower to think about anything. I didn't care what happened to me or why I was here, who he was, or even where this was. I spent the whole day in bed, just watching the sun slowly slide across the wooden floor. I felt like I was somewhere far, far away. At times, I felt like a lost child, and at times like a sickly old woman on her deathbed. Watching the sun travel gave me a renewed awareness of the passage of time, and the fact that each moment that went by was another moment I was alive. I realized then that it had been a while since I got a more than a brief glimpse at any sunlight. I almost surprised how colorful the world seemed beneath the sunlight, something I didn't get much of in that dark mansion. Only after losing something do you realize how much you need it. Warm milk, the lights shining through the window, and a bed that smelled like springtime. With those three things, my heart slowly began to defrost. I started gaining the willpower to stand on my own 2 feet. Okay, that's great. So far we got a happy midpoint. Thank you for everything. You sure you're in shape to be on your feet? Yes, I'm fine. I'm not hurt. You look pretty beat up to me. But you look a lot better now, and you're taking a lot more clearly than before. I mean, and you're talking. You've been very generous despite having never met me before, and for that, you have my deepest gratitude. Without your help, I would no longer be in this world. I don't deserve your thanks. You're alive now because God's guidance made it so. God? I came across you earlier this morning, and I was heading to the forest to hunt. Imagine my surprise seeing a young lady like you on the ground in my path. What would you do in the forest? You have to tell me if you'd rather not. Everyone's got their own personal problems. You're not going to demand I talk. I have no reason to force you to do anything. You look like you've been to hell and back. What? I could tell just looking at you. Now then, do you have somewhere you can go? Somewhere to go? Of course I don't. I can't go back to the capital, the mansion. If not, then why don't you stay here? Here? Sure. It's a small village. We're self-sufficient and we all help out each other. No tax on your lords. Lords, no, we built this place either, so we keep everything we make. Pretty remote result, and the harvest isn't fantastic, but I'm sure you'll find it comfortable here. The rest of the villagers will be glad to have you here. What do you say? I'm sorry, Mom. What I'm about to do make the rest of the family's lives more difficult, but I don't want to have to feel any more pain. If I really won't be inconvenienced to you, if it's really okay, then yes, I would like to stay here. That's great to hear. I was loath to send you back out there in current conditions. I haven't introduced myself yet, have I? The name's Ahmadid. We'll call him A for now long. I'm just one lowly villager of many men. I'm Giselle. Giselle? That's a beautiful name. If I'm not mistaken, there should be a vacant house. Clean up, and you can call it home. I could have possibly asked for that. The others would like if I just took a house for myself. That shouldn't be an issue. I'm the village's representative, more or less. Representative like chief, only a name though. Also, as I mentioned, we're not on any lord's mats, so I don't have much representing to do. The only reason I end up in charge is because I'm a bit more educated than anyone else. It was a long time ago, but I understudied with a priest. Because of that, I'm familiar with Bible's teachings. So rather than cheat, the people of the village look to me more like a priest. Wouldn't be much fun if the church found out about that. Haha. They're liable to think I'm acting uneducated, undone. Then you believe in God? That's quite the question. Of course God says He's always watching over us. That's why you survived, because he protected you. I understand that your faith can waver when you're going through times of tribulations, but those are the times it's most important to keep your sight on who you are. Right. Now, get some rest. Tomorrow, or shall we run the village? Thank you. I truly mean it. I really sincerely appreciate everything. And don't mention it, Giselle. This is your village now, too. So you don't need to act like you're a stranger anymore. Okay. Well, that's a cute story so far. So he's Amadi. He seems like a nice man. Maybe here I can live in peace. He'll be right, I'm sure. Yeah. I wasn't silly enough to believe my life would be perfect, but I found a tiny fragment of my lost hope. While I have once been ready to give up on absolutely everything, I was starting to feel like I might be able to smile again eventually. Like I might be able to get back on my feet. And in order to do that, I had to cast aside my past once more. Forget everything that happened at the ball and girl estate and everything that happened at that mansion. Forget about Michael. There was one niggling curiosity, though, that I couldn't shake. Something he had said before I left. My very existence threatens to tear down that house. The cursed youngest son of the Bollinger family. Michael, who made a pact with the devil, who was supposed to be dead, but is very much alive. What I meant by that? What do you mean by that? Why would people think he was dead? No, I don't care about Michael one bit. Forget it. Forget everything. Okay. In the house, and meanwhile, back at the farm. In this case, meanwhile, back at that mansion, which is one thing that you know. To remember that. Now we built. Okay, if you're wondering what I mean, meanwhile, back at the farm or back at the mansion, it's simply you have two parallel stories. We got two stories now. We got Giselle back at the village, and now we got Michael over here at the mansion. So that's why, even though we're building up the side stories, like meanwhile, back at the almost back over here, you know, we cut back from our farm, which is the village, now back to the mansion. Meanwhile, back at the mansion, the house, as it has always been, wrapped in thick scents. The Giles shadow, which has been lurking in the halls for about months, was nowhere to be found. She had not come back since running off that day. My secret, yes, my secret is still safe. Her efforts had, in the end, been all for naught. Bad things were. But despite my mind telling me that it was for the best, I felt kind of guilt seeing things in the back of my chest, and I intend to figure out which why only made me feel worse. But that look on her face then. Was soon nope, it's going back to the same photo again. Please, hear me out. I didn't know anything about you. I wasn't sniffing around or trying to bring you harm in any way. Dun 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 dun. Was that really her? I was playing an act because I revealed her scheming. No. She was screaming though, and she looked genuinely terrified when she knocked my hand away. I'm not falling for anything. I feel like I know that forensic panic. Something doesn't add up. Be quiet. Silence, please. My head was pounding beyond belief. I couldn't stand anything. This world, the creature I was, the witches whispering, the archangel looking down upon me, seeming to be crackling from somewhere far out of reach. So for whatever it's worth, escaped from his gaze. Man. I once again drew the drapes over the stained glass window. Oh boy. And am I finally gonna see her? Am I finally gonna see the witch? Not quite. Meanwhile, back at the farm. Meanwhile, back at the village. So this is what I mean. Build up Michael's stories. Meanwhile, back at the farm. We left it right off just where we left it. Whoa! Whoa! It's someone new! Hey, you there! Are you gonna be for that long? Yeah, are you? Are you? We hardly ever get visitors here. So they're downright awestruck by you. You'll be getting a lot of attention for a little while, but please don't let it get to you. Thank you, just fine. I'll do my best to get along with everyone. You got that spark in you. That wasn't there yesterday. Anything in particular that cheered you up? In particular? Once I decided I was going to stay here, I just sort of started feeling better about things, and I figured I couldn't stay gloomy forever. I see. Glad to hear it. And it's all thanks to you, Keep thinking of me like that, and my cheeks might start to get red. And even, I'll show you around. I said I'll show you around yesterday, so how about we do that? Lead the way. That said, we're a modest little village. Village about 100. Everyone here knows everyone. For that size, it's pretty big to me. Taking the lead, we walk through the village, passing by crop fields and milk cows, presumably shared among the villagers. Houses were scattered across an area that seemed far too large for only 100 people. Actually, getting a better look at them, the buildings were depleted, looking more like ruins than residents. Once upon a time, this was a city rather than a village. Oh? When your ancestors lived here? Oh no, we were drifters, fortunate to come across some decent-looking land, so we stuck around. How'd you know it was like this before then? There were a few stone tablets left behind. The base will be able to extract from the text. This area used to be a large city, booming with economy, rivaling that of the capital. There were hundreds, but thousands of people bustling about. Merchants from far came from droves. So it's much like how the capital is now. Actually, this area was more open to foreigners. People all different races speaking as many different languages. It was all evidently quite the sight and sound. I had no idea there was a city here. That's what happens when a place is wiped from history. I can't tell you how reliable the tablets are, but if you take them at their word, this city lost everything in just a single week. What? People, crops, livestock, all dead. Maybe it's all a natural disaster, a famine, a plague. I can't say for sure. This is what the tablet said, though. And there she is. There's that sound. There's the witch. We've been cursed. It says, we've been cursed by a witch. Cursed by the witch? Look over there. See the river? There used to be a magnificent bridge crossing it, but there's hardly anything left of it. If you continue along the path to Fallen Bridge, there's a forest. That's where I found you. Deeper parts of the forest are so dense, you can't see anything but trunks and leaves. It's an eerie place, wrapped in a cloud of darkness. If you make it through that, there's a mansion which is said to be cursed. The witch who supposedly destroyed the city lives in the house deep in the forest. She's been there for years and years and years. And she casts a curse on anyone who goes near it. The cities were large and the mansion was actually in its borders. My guess, the bridge was built to mark the road leading to it. Now as you can see, the bridge is gone and the house is still standing and practically in ruins. The mansion alone looks just as it did back then. The witch living in the mansion goes by the name Morgana. Yeah, Morgana. Why must I keep saying the House in Fata Morgana? It's Morgana. According to records, someone by the same name was executed in this area for witchcraft. And even in death, she continues to bear a grudge against mankind. Who knows how much of it's true, though? Truth or fiction, the story has taken roots in its origins. The city's history may be lost, but the legend of this witch continues to be told. People have a tendency to keep stores alive. That scares them. Oh, I'm very sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm very sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. No, I'm fine. You're best stay away from the mansion than force, at any rate. There's no saying what might happen if curiosity gets the better of you. Better safe than sorry, if you ask me. Aside from the mansion, this is a peaceful village, as you'll find. I don't know where you came from, but I'm glad you're not wandering over there. Oh, hey, you have no idea. I know all about the mansion and who lives there. I was there, after all, with Michael for a full month. But I don't remember any wood-cursed witch. Just man with the bone-chilling glare. Maybe the rumors about a witch living there were spread by him, or perhaps even his family. I could see them doing that, but none of that matters to me anymore. I'm never going anywhere near that house again. The cursed witch, Michael. There's nothing to me. With nothing else to go, I ended up in this small village. There's no denying there was very little to speak of here, but I found peace in that, nothing the less. I could have been more blessed than such a kind man have found me and welcomed me to his village. The village ran entirely on its own crops and livestock. They had no currency, merely bartered among themselves. Coming from a merchant thing, everything felt so new. Plowed a large plot of land, milked a cow, or used a loom before. At first I wasn't sure what to think, but such a departure from my lifestyle in the capital. But over time I grew more comfortable with my new life, and the people of the village started thinking of me as one of them. Hey, come on, Giselle, come play with us. Yeah, come on. Yeah, we're playing hide and seek today. I can't, sorry. I'm spinning yarn. You can do that later. You can do that later. Come on, play with us. Stop that. Don't pull my skirt. Alright, alright. You win. I'm done with this. I'll join you. And no ditching. We'll be down at the square, okay? Gotta see you there. The kids are taking quite a liking to you. Amadi. You think so? You've been incredibly lively since you arrived. Children are more sensitive than adults. Sensitive? They are very perceptive how others are feeling. If you're a burglar playing alone, they'll pick on that quickly. You're like children. And that's a wonderful thing. There's not a good woman in the world who dislikes children. Well, thank you. I didn't think much of being that I like them, as I'm kind of like a big kid myself. I generally enjoy hide and seek, but that's not gonna earn me any points. I like kids too. Watching them, it gives me faith that this world has a bright future. A bright future. Yeah, same here for me too. Personally, in my personal life, I have a lot of little cousins, so seeing them just makes me happy that they're still here, and they do keep the grandparents and uncles entertained through their crazy stories and shenanigans. Also, they're a little bit of a can be a little silly from times. Like I used to have like my Xbox 360 down here back last generation, but they used to hide my phone, my video game controllers, some of my games. I would keep asking them, like, you know, where's my stuff? And that's where all the girls, the guys, at least they knew stuff. But now they're all grown up now, so now they're over it. We just need to get them to be, at least the guys, to be more sociable. A bright future. And I've looked at anything of that before. They seem to like you too a bit, I mean. Thanks. Though I'd rather give my affection to my own kids. Oh, you have children. Oh, heaven knows. I thought that was obvious enough. I was talking about the future. I see. Knowing you, I'm sure you'll find someone right for you and have kids on your own in no time. It's not that easily, sadly. Even in such a small village, there are no ladies who would take interest in me. You don't even care. You don't even give yourself enough credit. I'm fully confident you'll find someone soon enough. Do you really think so? Absolutely. Then perhaps you could be that person. What? Pardon? I want a person to do it. You into it, of course. But I think it would be marvelous to have you in my life, in a bigger way. But it's a little soon for you to think about like stuff done like that. It is pretty soon, I admit. Take all the time you need to consider it. Alright, I think I'll play with the kids now. Have fun. I wonder if he really meant it. I mean, he's a nice fellow, and I'm sure living here would be wonderful. But I can't help feeling something isn't right here. I had the same feeling too. It's too peaceful. Why am I thinking about it now of all times? Holy crap, what's gonna happen now? As it turned out, Nobody was serious about proposition. He brought it every time we ran into each other. I never give an answer. I found myself constantly apologizing to him. Soon winter started giving way to spring. And one day when the air still had a brisk, when a bite and budding seedlings battled to break through the earth, the seeds began to come loose. Huh? That day, the village men were gathered in the square talking. The old sterns on the face. It was clear something had happened. I obviously couldn't stick my head in, so wait until they were done and caught up with them at A. While I was rather awkward talk, I was still more confident asking him than anyone else. Actually, when the DJ had looked on his face, he started explaining. A lord found out about this village. What? He said he's going to go into to place land under his rule, meaning he started collecting taxes. In addition, he's also demanding we pay 5 years' worth of back taxes for unauthorized use of the land. What? That's ridiculous. Yes, it most certainly is. We obviously don't have any means to pay 5 tax years. There's no reason for him to take over this village after all. We're completely isolated from the surrounding area after all. But if it's this, he could send soldiers. Doesn't matter how absurd his claim to the village is. We have no choice to comply. That's terrible. What are we gonna do then? We're gonna do what the Lord's demand. The 5-year tax is what to be paid in installments. Some men suggest we abandon the land and find ourselves somewhere else. But it would take time to go to the land and plant new crops. It's no trivial task. We just have to make do with these changes. We use more land to grow and try to be more efficient. Will you help us help in the fields? Of course. This village is my home now too. Thank you, Giselle. It'll be difficult if you all pitched in. But if you all pitched in, I'm sure we'll get through this. Oh boy. Let's see how that goes out. It's not the same thing. But if we all work together, we'll make it through the rough patches. The collection of taxes brought more than just for everyone to share. It brought a most strain and conflict to the village. Your family has more hands. Your family has more hands to work in the field. I have a sickly child. You can't expect him to work any harder than he is. You know you're hiding grain in your cellar. Hey, calm down. You have more than us. Let's keep a little grain. You have more? No, you have more. You both have more than us. When the comfortable lines fell under attack, the village's top priority became their own property. The cooperation was only temporary. Long before, everyone became a threat. Negative energy built on itself. Its growth accelerated like boulder rolling down the hill. It wasn't long enough before their sights fell on me, the outsider. Come on, get moving. Ow, stop that. What are you doing this? I'll stop once. Told us everything. Told you everything. What? One morning, a man dragged me from my house and took me to the square. There, the rest of the village was gathered All eyes on me. What? What's this about? Don't play stupid. We all know it was you. What was me? The thief. A dam? The crowd, someone knew quite well the representative. The man who saved my life. But now his eyes. I thought you were better than that. A contempt, anger, scorn. So many different shades of negativity. I recognized what I saw as glare immediately at someone who had been subjected to those looks before. But why? For what reason was he looking at me like that? I couldn't make sense of what's happened. I just stood there with a dumb look on my face. There's been a rise in reports of people having things stolen lately. This village is too small to attract bandits still. This lord on demands to pay taxes. Every smallest item lost can have dramatic impact on a family's living conditions. What you've done is no joke. Wait just a second, I haven't stolen anything. Why do you think I've been seen in the act? What? So long there is testimony against you, your guilt is assured. What? Who says they saw me? I swear, I didn't do anything. They're obviously lying. You're the one who's lying. You've been playing us like a damn fool this whole time. Everything was fine until you showed up. We managed not to get found until you showed up. No, that's not my fault. Giselle. Apologize to the village and what you've taken. Damn, don't you believe me? There were multiple witnesses. Some of them people saw you were stealing. I know these people long enough to be family, and I just like family too. They're not liars. And you just played yourself like a damn fool because you trust them like family. Stuff like this happens. But no, they're framing me. I didn't steal anything. I swear, framing you. Now you want to put us on this woman? Unbelievable! I've forgotten we welcome you to our village. Please believe me. You of all people believe me. You've avoided me late, haven't you? What? It's entirely correct. No, why? What other reason would you have to avoid me? What? Why? How could you say things? Why won't you believe me? Now return the things you've stolen. I can't. I never stole anything. How much with something that I don't have? I see, so everyone's moved the goods. You said you didn't have them anymore, folks. How could we deal with this? Rough her up till she talks. Yeah, she couldn't get off that easy. Give us back our property. What? Why is this happening? The harsh new relationships. The harsh new rulership has drummed up these mad people. I need to get away from this village quick. Restrain her. No, get your hands off of me. Have you forgotten everything we've done for you? All that matters that you have. All that matters that you don't have to suffer. Is that it? No, I didn't do anything. Take her to my house. Make her tell us everything. No, stop. Volkan, mad. Please come to your senses. With men on all four sides of me, I was dragged to Amadeus' house. He sat coldly in a chair and then shoved me to my knees before him. I ask you this one more time, Giselle. Where did you put your things you stole? And I'll keep giving you the same answer. I didn't take anything from anyone. Please believe me. Do you swear with God as your witness? I do. I swear with God too, with all my heart. Don't want to believe it, do you? She's not only sold out to the Lord, she's now threatening to make our lives downright impossible. Again, that's just a coincidence. Listen to me. Thus says the Lord of hosts, the woman hath committed 3 sins. She has lied and stolen, and she betrayed her fellow man. Why are you doing this, Ahmed? You're such a good man. I am deeply disappointed in you, Giselle. As much as I don't want to do this, I had to give you the truth from you. Ah, of course. Why didn't I see it? I'm just an outsider to them. Why wouldn't we believe a stranger's word over the word of the village, his family, the water? A man said wooden well bucket in front of me. It wasn't even clean water for the well, though a grimy, murky wastewater. I reluctantly turned my head from the stretch, but a man behind me grabbed me by the hair. Before I had a chance to realize what was happening, the world around me went brown. I struggled with all my might to break free, but my arms were tired, tied on my back, and I didn't have the strength to overpower the man. Reflectively grasping for me, a stream of filthy water poured into my mouth. Pull her out. You get nothing if she dies. Put her back in and keep at her until she decides she's ready to talk. How unsettling. And think I ever considered marrying this woman. Stop. They can stop whenever you want. So you just have to tell us the truth. Again, this is so cliche, but it works effectively. But please. Stop! I was given no time to rest. My head shoved in the bucket and then pulled out just enough for me to steal a breath from going back in over and over again. Not a person who decided to reject the abuse I was receiving. I prayed for good harvest with these people. They had taught me how to loom, something I'd never touched before. We laughed together, lived together. There were normal people. Perfectly ordinary, kindful, helpful, friendly people. Not cruel and inhumane, but now they burn with a frenzy that overshadowed all memories of them. And every cargo, grass, and growth that got through filled the fire. Dozens of eyes listed mad stared upon me, rejoicing at my suffering. My conscience was slipped away from me. I thought I could hear laughter and cheering, but all passed from my ears, a mere noise nothing can make sense of. Get away with. Stay with me. My day. Oh, thank goodness. You're awake. Wait, what was I just doing? Oh, right. The minute you found me, you almost lost a valuable manpower there. We were just discussing doing about you. Giselle and decided to make you village property. No. And we decided to make you village property. No, he didn't save me. If you agree with work with us, we'll put this whole mess behind us. You may be worthless in the fields and terrible with the loom, but there's plenty you can help with. What do you make me do? You let to get your hands dirty. And considering I found you half dead in the forest, I doubt the rest of you is any cleaner. It seems we come to an agreement. I'll keep a watch over starting today, to make sure she stays in line to steal anything else. Dirty stays in line? The way they look at me. They didn't have to spell it out. No, anything but that. Please have mercy. If you're begging for mercy, then that means you know you've done something wrong. Let's see. There's one way. Giselle? What? Get back to what you stole naturally. If you're going to insist that's not possible, then bring us something of equal value. If you can't do that, then your life belongs to the village. The men were crackling. They knew I couldn't do anything. And they were enjoying watching me squirm. Take your pick, Giselle. Something of equal value. If I can get that, they will set me free. In that moment, a little bit of darkness bubbled in my heart. Something maleficent whispered in my ear. There's Morgan, or no, Michael. If you need money, if you need money, if you need any money, help yourself to some of the furniture. There is a village not far from here. Trade for food, then make your way to a larger town. Ah, see, now that's what we call Chekhov's gun. If something is said earlier or something is done early in a film or any media, that gun should be fired off by the end of Act 2 or Act 3 or near towards the end of the film. So it's not, you know, just a gun on the wall. It's become a prop. And with that, our gun has fired off. Our gun is now perfectly fired off. And this is Giselle's scapegoat. I think I know where we can get something worth some money. The mansion inform us. Have some fairly valuable furniture in it. Oh God. When did I become... You can steal some of that to sell for good money. Such a despicable woman. You mean... You mean... The cursed mansion? You expect us to go there? Are you out of your mind? Anyone that goes near that house is gonna be killed by the witch's curse. There is no witch living there. There is no curse. Giselle, what do you know about that mansion? I've lived there for a while. Well, for a month. You what? The son of a noble lives there. He's human and he's alone. A noble? What a noble boy doing this far from the city. I presume he was banished there. I was sent to the mansion with the capital to act as a servant. There was plenty of valuables in the house. Shelves lined with books. There should be no enough to pay the lords 5 years worth of taxes. Is what you say true? I would not lie. As bewilderment spread through Medid's house, I was unable to look at anything but the floor. I could have started trembling to protect myself. I had sold out Michael. You swear there's a single man living in that house? Yes. It's only him. Alright. If it turns out you're lying, you'll pay. Okay, everyone? You heard her. Tell the young man to get ready. We're going to the mansion of force. And just to be safe, make sure everyone brings something they can use as a weapon. And you, Giselle, you're coming with us. You're leading the way. Listen to me. Don't think about trying to run. Right. As if Giselle could run. And here we go. The tragic fate that awaited both of them. They'll do anything to save their village at this rate. On the cusp of springtime, I found myself trekking through the dairy forest and I thought I would never set foot in again. How would I end up here? How come I could never manage to avoid getting myself in these situations? And who would have guessed that my reason for returning to the mansion were to be deluded? I pray to God to even have a little mercy and ensure Michael wasn't around. Though I knew the chances of that happening were almost zero. After several hours of walking, we broke through the thick woods and the mansion in pure force. Like its surroundings, the house is bleak and uninviting. Even the midday sun seemed distraying and shining its lights upon. Despite on the surface, there not being much of anything impressive about it, the entire mob stands speechless before its overwhelming presence. But the man had weapons, and they were fueled by avarice, which gave them the courage to approach the place they wouldn't normally otherwise. The door won't open. I think it's barred from the inside. It would seem someone really does live in this cursed place. I'm honestly surprised, even more so that it's not a witch, but just a noble. The door is old. We can break it down. Yeah, let's bust it down. Hold there. Doesn't need to be barbaric. Did you ever consider knocking like normal people? You seem like a band of thieves. Haha, there's something else coming. That's something coming for you. What do you think proposes plan to sell? You? Alright, man. Ready for lives of luxury? Break down that door. Stop it. It's the damn nobles who makes their life so hard. They deserve to be robbed. Break it. Break it down! Please stop this. Break it down. Break it down. Break it down. Stop. And these idiots are about to die. Oh, their repressed emotions detonated. They bought at the door again and again and again. In a few minutes' time, it was on the verge of collapse. They shouted and cheered and hooted like madmen as my pistol light came crumbling down at me. Growing light headed from my excitement. I squeezed my eyes shut and able to hear bearing. The deep groan of a door opening echoed through the forest. Not even gonna defend yourself. Your scheme failed, so you retreat into silence. And for God's sake, you second me. I'm done with you. I am done. Leave this place and never show your face here again. I stand flooded red eyes. It's the one inappropriate thought crossed my mind. Huh. So we can't get emotional like gone. Then kill me. You can do that, can't you? You can use your curse to kill me, can't you? Then do it, right here. Use your power. Take my life. And if you don't want that, stab me with your knife. Kill me. Kill me. Kill me. Hi, Dad. How's it going? Kill me. What? I'm done. I can't take it. I am through with this whole world. No one will believe anything I say. No one cares one bit how I feel. They just walk all over me, laughing. Why? Tell me why. Why is this happening to me? I never stole anything. What are you talking about? I tried my best to look happy. I thought everything would work out if I kept smiling. I believe. Inside. Let's go inside and talk. The light. It hurts in my eyes. Holy shit. That was fucking emotional. Giselle didn't recover for some time after I managed to get her inside. Unsure what else I could do for her. I had her sit by the fireplace and waited in silence as she sobbed. I had no idea what one was supposed to say to someone who was crying. Was it normal to offer them a warm drink? I didn't know. I didn't know I needed to reflect on the things she said outside. I did know I needed to reflect on the things she said outside and try to make sense of them. And from there, calm myself down, prepare for the conversation where we would have to have, as unpleasant as it should be. Considerable amount of time later, Giselle's stomach drew to stop, and oppressive silence stepping into place. Giselle. For far longer than was comfortable, the only sound we heard was gentle cracking of the fire. I had to say something. I knew that, but I didn't know how I was to begin. I knew nothing had to begin an honest face-to-face discussion with someone about the things we were thinking and feeling, but that didn't change anything. I had to do it. Even down the road they thrust, I would be happier not seeing. Giselle, could you please tell me what you did what was done to you at my family's house? How you end up coming to this mansion? And what happened after you left? I would like to know everything, from start to finish. Will you believe what I tell you? You never do so much, and gave me the time of day before. Her eyes moved again. I very much doubt you'll find what I have to say agreeable. Will you still believe me even then? Believe my word, a stranger's word, over your family or the people of the village? I cannot say yet. I must hear what to say to make that decision. I suppose that might be better than you saying you believe me unconditionally. Alright, I'll tell you everything. Jesus Christ. Just know that nothing I say is a lie. Understood. Giselle methodically recounted her tale for me. She told me how she accepted an offer from the Bollingers to work as an abigaili to earn money for her family. But my own father, Antonia, had other plans for her. The things he did to her. She spoke strenuously, putting words to each event, one after the other. I had already seen how she felt deep down, though. Had heard her pain screams, which were down with genuine. I didn't think she was trying to deceive me. That was the sound of old wounds being torn open, and even I could see that. Or perhaps my own experience with that, or what allowed me to see it. Regardless, I realized too late. I should have seen it sooner. Described it all mechanically to remain detached from what had happened to her to protect herself. Of that I have no doubts. Still, the things she told me were unbearable. I had a difficult time accepting them. What was I supposed to do? When I learned that my father was a rapist, how was I supposed to react to that revelation? What was I supposed to think about the fact that his blood flowed through me? I repulsed myself. Do you want all the details? What do you mean? Of the wounds he gave me. I still have scars from the things he did. If you don't believe me, I can show them to you. No, that won't be necessary. I see. That's a relief. I didn't think I could have a handle that right now. I had to turn down her offer for a second. I only did so because I didn't think I could take it anymore myself. I averted my eyes to protect myself. Why? I had to take my mother's words, brushing aside everything Giselle said and done. I knew good and well my mother was no longer a rape mine. So why had I thought her letter the truth? Why had I been unable to think rationally? There I was. They were, I believe, several factors. My childhood, my past, the witch's whisper, and above all, my own character, consumed with distrust and everything. I had to face it now. To open my eyes once more, to look at everything. I had been away till now. I was not completely blameless for suffering all. Deep breath, Stain. Deep breath, Joker. Please continue, if you will. I left at the point where the witch discovered when she was happening, I believe. I was sent to this mansion to atone for my sins. Sins that she didn't even commit. We decided I'll be sent here rather than being executed, which is what the mistress wanted. At first, I assumed it would be essentially a private prison. In the carriage on the way here, I was given a letter. A letter from whom? It didn't say, but the father was the one who ordered me here, so I guess it was him. The letter was very concise, explaining that there was someone already there, the Bolonger's youngest child. They didn't go into more detail than that, but it did ask me to look after you. Do you still have that letter? I don't. The coachman took it back after I was finished. Think about it now, I'm not sure that's strange what to do. It was just a honest letter. It was anything but... What? It wasn't my father who wrote the letter. He believes me to be dead. So he was sincerely thought he was banishing to the house to be enforced. The writer couldn't risk leaving anything that might suggest I would still be alive. Then who? My brother, I believe. Either Ditter or George. But I guess it would be Ditter. Your brother? Why would he? I don't know. I can't imagine he would write such a letter. Or why would he tell anyone about me? I don't believe he had any ill intentions, at least. I mean, he asked me to look after you. Did I forget to mention how beautiful these characters look? They all do, but they have a terrible past, so let's continue. That makes it sound like he had concern about you. Then why why does he stay in contact? Why does he never respond to my letters? It's a bit late to suddenly start being concerned. No, never mind that. Please tell me the rest, alright? Dom soon started from the day she left the mansion, terrified by my behavior. She seemed to be putting a bit more emotion to her tone of voice. Now perhaps she could see I was more interested in this part. But there was a deep sadness on her face as she spent the night in the rain, listening to the thunder. When she was gave up on living, and I knew I had caused it. She told me the time she spent in the nearby village. How at first life seemed to be wonderful, and the time came crumbling down. Naturally, she couldn't believe here. Tell me nothing's happened there. Believe as though naturally she wouldn't believe her to tell me if nothing had happened there. Once she was through with her tale, Giselle let along a heavy, as though she had been holding it for quite some time. I thought I could hear just a faint trembling in the air she exhaled. That is everything. Do you believe me? If you don't, if you still think I'm deceiving you, then I won't argue with you. That's fine. If that's the case, please just kill me. Why didn't you tell me this sooner? I know I wasn't very open to anything you said, but if that day, when I found you in my room, if you had told me I was mistaken, that this didn't belong to your father, it might not have turned out like this. The knife. What? You were holding a knife. I can't handle blades anymore. Ever since what happened, they scared me to death. Instead of one in someone's hand, I started thinking they're going to use it on me. I can't help it. I started thinking uncomfortably, and going faint of breath. The world goes right. I can't even form words. There's nothing I can do. Now I finally see. She was grimacing in pain. The day the package arrives, when you knocked my hand away, because I was scared. This reminded me of that time. I had assumed she was simply jumping from a guilty conscience. I felt nauseous, realized I'd been pouring incontinent salt onto her unbeatable wounds. What a damn fool I was. Why did you get up so sad about me? Why did you point a knife at me? I didn't want you snooping. If you meant to sell information about me, I thought I'd do anything in my power to stop you. I'm still not convinced it was necessary. I was unarmed. I could fight back. You didn't need a knife. I have nothing left anymore. So I'm gonna tell you exactly how I feel. You jerk. What you did was inexcusable. You may have not hurt me physically, but you still hurt me. Humans are frail creatures. They wound easily. Apologize. Apologize. I said apologize. I'm sorry. Again, put your heart into it. Convince me you mean it. I'm sorry. Again, once more. Get down on your knees and shut in your gut. I'm so very sorry. Was that so? Jeez, you're such a strange man. Strange. Nothing's going like that like I thought it would. I even figured if we talked, you'd just deny everything I said. I didn't think you would actually listen to me. But you did. You listened. And you looked quite distressed by what you heard. I looked distressed? Oh yes, you sure? Oh yes, you sure did. I wish I had a mirror to show you. I'm sure you didn't want to believe what I said, but you don't seem sure about yourself. You don't seem, but you didn't want to accuse me of harm. You faced the truth, and you apologized. I seem to have the wrong impression of you as well. I didn't try to see you for who you were, instead of letting myself believe you were someone to be afraid of. To be honest, I didn't like you very much. The feeling was mutual, but for some reason, I didn't feel the way now. Was it guilt? I need to apologize to you too. Apologize for what? I've let the villagers hear. I almost sold my soul to the devil. I tried to sell you out to save my life. And for what? And for that, I'm truly sorry. I don't understand. What Do I need to get down on my knees too? No, that's not what I meant. The blame falls to the village for falsely accusing you of stealing. You're more convenient scapegoat for the real thieves. They plan to take advantage of you from the start. That Amid was probably known as well, to get back at you for rejecting his proposal. Plus, giving the village a single threat to let out their frustration on, would, in a way, help unify them. He used you to meet that end. In order to escape from that trap, you told them about me. But this was after I threatened you, accusing you to flee from this place. You would have nothing to apologize for. I still feel really bad about it. So, I'm sorry anyway. You're unexpectedly stubborn. But now, they've both apologized to each other. You can call everything square. Square? Square. We were both in the wrong. So we apologized, and we forgave each other. She gave a little smile. All I could do was stare at her. Brow foul and brow. I can't believe it's 3. Like I was looking at some bizarre fancy land creature. The weight of our crimes was not equal. But what I had done to her was so very much worse. Furthermore, I am Antonia's son. His blood flows through me. King ought to say he didn't find me revolting. They were willing to forgive me for that. I didn't really think I was to be able to. If I were here, my guns would extend all my families, everyone I had to come in contact with. I can. Although you don't need to forgive yourself for being a son. Being related to someone doesn't make you responsible for their sins. I'll be fair to blame you for that. You're curious. What? Curious about what? No, not that curious. You're a strange creature. I'm human, you know. Yes, I know you're human. You're making me lightheaded. Is it a medical emergency? That's quite a leap in logic. You know, I was at my lowest just a little bit ago, and now I'm laughing again. It's odd. I never expected I would recover at all. I was just as surprised as her. She had been through hell, and she had more than enough reason to despise me. It showed me with madness, hatred, and frustration. Instead, she was smiling. Even more unexpected, the fact that I felt relieved to see it. That's a lot to unfold in one single episode. Michael's perspective. Giselle's perspective from Michael. I truly wish I had gotten to know him sooner. Yes, I have fled from the mansion for fear. But maybe if I just had a little more courage, everything to tell me about the truth to him, maybe he would just have listened. I let my impersonal sulfide too quickly. I convinced him myself he was prematurely an expression safe from the stray. The man standing before me to experience sadness, pain, distress, or at the very least preparing to form where I was standing. Michael was just like being an ordinary person. That said, there was still plenty I didn't know. I would still like an explanation for much of his behavior. Would you mind telling me about yourself now? Or to get you know me better? What are you doing here at this mansion all alone? Why do you call yourself a curse? I told you everything. It's only fair you do the same. I have no interest in using the information for anything. I have no reason to. Are you going to keep pushing the master's certain line? Do you still think I have no need to know? Be quiet! For the love of God, stop worrying! You always pick the worst time. Wait, what? Excuse me. What do you mean I always pick the worst time? No, I wasn't. Unbelievable. I was starting to think you might actually be this human being. Then you go and spout this? No, sir. I wasn't talking to you. Who else could have been? I was, talking to you. I have a condition that forces me to vocalize objects into my own thoughts. You know, this is convincing as if my allergic to people excuse. Sorry. Weirdo. What crosses does he bear? What secrets did he keep? Maybe the truth was from my reckoning. If it was, even if he did, please tell me everything. No matter what you say, I won't doubt your words. I will trust you, and I'm sure I will accept you anything you say. Please, if you don't put it into words, I have nothing to work with. Okay. Where should I start, though? How about the curse, then? Are you actually cursed? That's a difficult question. I cannot, for example, take someone's life from my curse, nor I could bring about disaster. I don't have magical powers like that. So, what you said outside was a bluff then? It was just a way to lead the chase the villagers away. Well, you certainly put a convincing performance. So you certainly are curse anyone, huh? Regardless, I am human. Nothing more, nothing less. At least I consider myself one. Others would disagree. And the reason that is to deal with this body. Your skin, hair, and eye color, right? Right. Oh boy. Going back out there again. Alright, Flash is back out there. It's the past now, back out in here. Seeing Michael on the sun, he certainly wasn't the most people could consider normal. Awe-inspiring, in fact. Giving birth to me, it broke my mother. No, I drove her mad. Not only did I appear inhuman, I was I'm oversensitive to sunlight. While little light wasn't as much a problem, I can't be outside directly on the sun more than a couple hours. When she realized I couldn't go out into the sun, my mother started thinking I was possessed by a demon. So she banished me to this mansion until my curse was broken. That was 10 years ago. Just because she looked different from them. Their family reputation was at stake too. Well, the nobles realized that they were giving refuge to an unholy creature. It would show the Bollingers. You saw how the villagers reacted. They called me a demon when they saw me. I suspected the noise about this mansion played a giant part in that. If nobody thought the house was cursed, they wouldn't have. I'm sure you're afraid as well. You saw me. I thought I was not of this world. You looked like a demon. I thought you looked like an angel. A what? At least, I thought you looked more like an angel than a demon. I never once crossed my mind that you might be evil. I understand your situation now. Because of your parents, you live all alone in a dark mansion for 10 years. It was never really any inconvenience. They bring all the supplies I need. You big liar. Have you never considered running away? That's not an option. Because of the sun? No. I couldn't move during the daylight if they wanted to. I'm being watched. To ensure I don't leave. Watched? They can't allow anyone to finally let them lie. Particularly the Bolliger estate. If I were to run, they would find out I would probably be killed. If only I didn't stand out so much, I might be able to stay way outside easier. But also, I had been holding on to a little hope, I think, that I might be able to return someday. Really? I've all but given up that hope now, though. Not that I've ever had enough willpower to really fight for it. I see. I don't need to worry about pitying me either. Some wants became normal to me. It's not something that should be ever considered to be normal. So what's that really a moment ago? You don't actually have a condition that makes you argue yourself, do you? Please tell me. You don't have to believe me. In fact, I doubt you will. If you think I'm completely mad, don't worry. I want to know. I can hear the witch's voice. The witch's voice? Instead, I won't arrive at the mansion. No one else can hear it either. Like I said, it sounds crazy. No, not all I said. I said I would trust you, so I believe you. Maybe it's not well. Yeah, that has to be it. Then he was all in place and you're about to start hearing things. Seems like a delicate person, too. Think about all that. I said I really feel sorry for him. Do I want to know what you're thinking? I'm here for you. Huh. I made up my mind. I'm gonna stay here with you. Wait, what? Don't worry. I'll shout so loud you won't be able to hear that silver voice. Will you now? If you hear it again, let me know, understand? I don't want to be afraid. I never said I was. Whenever you hear it, I'll be there with you, holding your hand. Well, we kind of took it extremely long, but there you have it. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Master. Now, where should we begin? I know something real. What should I make you? Slow down. What is it? Is that what you like? I'm happy to accommodate. We're actually intend to stay here again after what happened the last time. Because of what happened. Because of that, we're following the sea. We pass each other's surface. I want us to try again from the beginning. And this time, I actually try to consider of one another's feelings. That's a promise, Master. Alright. I can see you, right? I don't mind. I'm glad to hear. Say, Master. Say, if you ever wanted something from me, can I ask you to put into words? I don't have much faith in my ability to pick up on things. Got it. Then here's something to start with. Why do you say we open these windows? Open the windows? Yeah. Why don't you have think if it'll cause you problems? Would it be nice to have a little light in here? I'd like to put an end to this house being dark cave offs. I wasn't the one who barred the windows. You weren't? They were like that when I arrived. Maybe it seems like a very appropriate place to lock me away. Well, since there's a light, yes. As I mentioned, a little sun through the window shouldn't cause any problems. Alright then. Okay. Let's both line up this place a little. Oh boy. What are we gonna find now? Curtain on. While we couldn't do anything with the windows that had been boarded up, the two of us forced one that would just cover the rest of the overshadows. We got the first one open, a beautiful stream of light, like nothing I've ever seen before. Whoa. I'm just waiting for the witch to show up. Flooded in dark mansion halls. I had assumed the spring would never come, and all we had to do was walk to each other, listen to each other, and everything else would just fall into place. But it was the first step that was so hard, so much harder than either of us expected. Now that the ice was melting, we had to trust that. It might not have seemed like much to someone else, but to us, it was a huge accomplishment. Now, where's our witch? Giselle. This time it all worked out. It has to. I had all the confidence in the world when we were together. But now that I'm alone in the dark, the absence of sounds of the night, I'm starting to get anxious again. It's starting to feel like something bad is going to happen. Oh, it is, sweetheart. Like I'm going to mess up everything again. You took a big step today, and I know I had to keep it together. To keep thinking positive. The goods you're after, Giselle, aren't cheap. Understand? Thus saith the Lord of the host, the woman hath committed 3 sins. She lied, she stole, and betrayed her fellow man. It's alright, it's okay. There's nothing left to be afraid of, Giselle. Whatever happens, you have to hold fast to your faith and the goodness of others. You have no reason to tremble. Yes, come in. That's odd. I don't think I was hearing things. It's the witch, isn't it? There's no one there. Oh, what's that about? Oh, a glass? It's wine. It's warm. Guess you heat up with the fire for me. Oh, you. You could at least say hi. I feel like things are gonna work out. It's the witch, isn't it? It's gotta be the witch. Holy shit. We back with the maid? Yep. Light shining through the windows is swallowed by whole by the darkness. Yet to say our time together never actually existed. We saw it though. Together. Watch the light crack open to darkness. I'm begging you, please remember. Please find yourself. Please, Giselle. Don't let the things you felt, the warmth that fell over us, remain lost to you. I might have seen it. Seen the most beautiful light. Giselle. But are these truly my memories? Could they not be someone else's tale? Like all the others we've seen so far. She was so bright and jiggy, and I'm neither of those. Besides, the maid needs not a tale of her own. This is not a story. These are memories. Mine and your memories, no one else's. I was very much real. It was very much all real. As what the kinder, happier days that came next. Kinder, happier days. Those words created a strange warmness within my chest. But at the same time, they made me incredibly anxious. Is there really a happiness to be found down that road? If our paths lead to happiness, it could be worse than where we are now. Come, Giselle. To the spring that is more than just strangers. Oh god, this chapter is really long. Also, just remember that the game is rated M for mature for a reason. Oh, Master. Come on, get up. Up with you. Master. Master. See? What did I tell you? It's so much nicer in here with a little light. Morning. Oh, morning. Wait a second. Don't you hide under your bedspread. Get out of there. I'm fine. The room's staying dark. What is she even doing in here? Oh, but Master, did you agree that I opened the windows? I did, yes. Holy crap, this is a good music right here. Don't worry. I've put the curtains up. If it gets too bright, you can draw them. Morning takes the best parts of being outside and squeeze them all into the same few hours. That's a good soundtrack right there. So good job to composers and everyone that wrote the music. You don't have to go outside in the sunlight for it either. You just listen to all the wonderful sounds. Enjoy the sounds of the birds, the swaying of the trees, and the rest of the leaves. Am I being a pushy as I feel right now? Kind of. But you wouldn't be you if you weren't so far right now. I won't get you about it. Also, now that I know your real intentions, no, never mind. I completely misjudged you. You're the exact opposite of what I thought you were. What do you think of me? Let's see, listen. I thought you were cold and cruel, heartless and incomprehensible. But I'm beginning to get a better idea. You try to put on airs, but you really are rather childish. You're short-tempered, but can be surprisingly playful. What else? Oh, you have a pretty difficult personality too. There's not a good single trait in that on the list, is it? Now, hear me out here. That's not everything. You give me a chance to talk, and you listen intently. You can be kind of nice too. We agreed that we live together, no? Just not in the same house. Not just in the same house. So we got plenty of time to add more to the list. And I hope you can make your own list about me too. This is just the beginning after all. We've got a long, long time ahead of us. Plenty enough to get to know each other, no? Now, let's not waste any time then. What do you say about this day that we haven't been able to do before? What should we begin with? Oh, I know. We get this place cleaned up. You want to clean? Now that there's something actual lining here, you can see all sorts of things you'd probably rather not. Like dust all over the place. My vision was something in focus, but not completely escaped from Morpheus' place. But I could see very well enough to catch her smiling. This was the first time I got a good look at her light. I could see facial features I missed during yesterday's commotion, and those glittering eyes. Now even the trace of tribulation she had endured tainted her pure jaded eyes. She's surprisingly good looking. I'm clearly not myself right now. Is something wrong, Master? I know. You're half asleep, aren't you? You're still half asleep, aren't you? I guess I'm gonna have to throw my best bucket of water on you, I guess. What is the best bucket of water? I'm awake! Is there something on my face then? Just too amusing to decide to wake up to. Amusing? Oh, just get out of bed already. What a noisy morning. Oh boy. I got my first decent look at Michael under the light that morning. Watch him stuff for yards and crawl out of bed. All the little details I hadn't been able to pick up in the darkness. The expressions, mannerism, and the way he's been looking at me. I could see facial features I missed during yesterday's commotion. I still visit commotion with eyes. Oh boy. And that is where I'm gonna leave it. It's getting a bit too long. Gotta go work early in the morning. I want to thank you all for joining this episode of House in Fata Morgana. We'll see how around the copyright system goes for me, but I am enjoying this series still. We went through a lot. Wow, this game has definitely earned an M rating for very good reason, and it's hit very, very sensitive target issues. I mean, after we went from from the brown hair family with the families, we went from a time during the Renaissance to more of a Renaissance-ish to a foreigner and his girlfriend. It was a part where the beast died. We had more of the Industrial Revolution, and now the true story. I wonder how far this is gonna go. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Follow me on Twitter. My name is SilentJoker45 on Twitter. My name has been SilentJoker45. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. And I did hope you enjoyed the video.